Welcome, one and all, to another special episode of Concentrated Chaos with your host, as me, it's Rusty. And if you know me, well, I'm Rusty. And if you don't know me, I'm Rusty. Thank you so much for joining me today. And side note, I love my theme song so damn much. It's so perfect. It's written by Andy Barkowski, who I talk about at the end of the podcast. I just want to give him some love up front. He's one of the best guitar players I've ever played with, and he wrote that just for this podcast. So Andy, love you, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for writing that theme song, and you nailed it. So I got to get it in my headphones, though, because I don't have it when I'm recording, and it hypes me up so much, but I don't get to hear it when I'm recording. So I got to figure out a way to do that. If anybody knows how I can do that, let me know. Shoot me an email or a text or something. Anyways, we are going to depart a bit from the normal topic. You know, I'm a real estate agent, as I'm sure everybody knows, but I want to talk about other stuff sometimes. Stuff that is newsworthy or interesting or stuff I just like. And today I want to talk about professional wrestling. Yes, professional wrestling. Talk about why I like it and why I think you should give it a shot, even if you have your own opinions about it. It's first off, for those on video, if you're not just listening to this, this is my Bray Wyatt shirt that I wore today specifically so I could talk about pro wrestling. Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. Wonderful, wonderful wrestler. Just really an all-time great mind in the business. And unfortunately, last year, late, had some medical issues and passed away. My age, guy was 37 and left behind a wife and 4 little young kids. And so it was really sad. It was, kind of coming into the prime of everything. And so I wanted to, if I'm going to talk pro wrestling, I'm going to wear my Bray Wyatt shirt today. So Bray, rest in peace. But anyways, so professional wrestling. So people hear that I like professional wrestling, I get 2 different reactions. I get one way more than the other one. The one that I like is, you like pro wrestling? Oh, me too. Like it's a secret. Like, oh, we're not supposed to like it, but yeah, me too. I like it. What do you think? And then we get off into the weeds and going into matches coming up or what we're watching and that kind of stuff. That's fun. I've only gotten that once or twice. Most of the time, 99% of the time, when people hear I like pro wrestling, I get the, dude, you know that shit's fake, right? And I go like this, oh, it's fake? You mean to tell me that the Undertaker isn't really a dead guy who works in a morgue? Who's controlled by a fat guy with an urn with ashes? It's so dumb. It's really, I don't understand where that response comes from. And I don't understand why it's one of those things, it seems like it's taboo almost. Like you're not supposed to like it as a grown-up. I'm not an adult, but I'm a grown-up. I'll never be an adult. I don't like adults very much. In my brain, I'm still 14, which is probably a good reason why I like pro wrestling. Anyways, yes, I'm aware that it's fake. And that's not even the right word for it. It's predetermined entertainment. It's not fake. Falling onto wood boards with canvas over them 100 times a night. Those aren't pillows. Jumping from 10 feet in the air onto somebody on a table, that doesn't not hurt. Like everything that they do hurts, but it's predetermined entertainment. It's not fake. You know what else is predetermined entertainment? Literally everything else on TV, movies, media, everything. I mean, I don't go to you and you're like, oh man, I really like Marvel movies. I go, dude, you know that shit's fake, right? You know that Robert Downey Jr. doesn't really fly around in a metal suit, right? That's the same conversation. It's the same exact conversation, just flipped. Yes, everyone is aware that Robert Downey Jr. is not actually Iron Man. Captain America, Chris Evans wasn't born in the 20s and was a super soldier experiment in the World War II. Everybody's aware that Chris Hemsworth, even though he may look and sound and act like it, he is not actually a god. It's predetermined entertainment. It's just with professional wrestling, it's more like live theater than it is anything else. It's live theater with stuntmen. So yes, when they come out behind the curtain, do they know who's going to win? Yes. Have they kind of worked out a little bit of how they're going to get through the match? Sure. But it is entertaining as hell. It's exciting. It can be funny. It can be exciting. The banter back and forth can bring up different things. There's different storylines that weave in and out of real life. Something called kayfabe, that's how the wrestlers, when they act, they don't acknowledge that it's entertainment. So, and you can kind of go in and out of that with certain things. There's, for example, we're not going to get too far off in the weeds because probably if you don't like pro wrestling, you turn this shit off anyways. Whatever, I don't care. There's a guy in WWE, his name's Cody Rhodes. His father was one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty ended up not being on good terms because he worked for another company with the guy who ran WWE, Vince McMahon. And because of that, Dusty never got to win a title, even though he absolutely should have won the world title in WWE. He never did. And they kind of gave him a gimmick. A gimmick is another wrestling term for a character that was kind of silly. He had to wear black and yellow polka dots, as a grown man, to kind of make fun of him. And so now Cody, his son, is in the company, very, very popular, probably one of the most popular wrestlers. He always talks about how he wants to win the title that his dad never got to win. Well, obviously, it's entertainment. He's not going to win the title because he earned it, because he's the better wrestler than them. Like, they decide to give the title to. But that's kind of where they work in the character with the real life. And that's the stuff that I like. I like the story. I really like the wrestling part. I don't like the silly big guys doing stuff. I like the athletic guys. Guys like Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth now because he's in another company, or guys like Ricochet or Pac or Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. There's lots of those guys that are really, really athletic, that have cool movesets that are fun to watch. That's the kind of stuff that I like. But there's a lot of different elements of wrestling that I think if people gave it a try, give it a good 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of just watching the show so you can kind of understand where the storylines are. You get to learn who the people are. I think you'd actually really enjoy it. And even this month coming up is actually my favorite event of the year for WWE. It's the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is a gigantic battle royale where there's 30 guys. It starts with 2 guys in the ring, and then every 90 seconds they do a buzzer. Another guy comes in, and they go through all 30 guys, and whoever the last person standing wins the Royal Rumble. And you have to throw the guy over the top rope in order to eliminate him. You can't pin him or submit him. And so it's a unique event, but it's where they also get to do a lot of surprises. With 30 guys, you have an idea of who should win or who could win, but sometimes they surprise you. Or they'll bring back people that have, that were great wrestlers at some point and maybe were in a different company, or debuting people. Sometimes they'll do surprise returns. Sometimes they'll do, people that are debuting with the company or coming up from the developmentals. And the crowd, the surprises, the crowd really pops. They call it a pop, but a pop is just a big cheer. That's the kind of stuff that that's actually my favorite stuff, is the surprises and the storyline stuff where I don't see it coming. And it's the same as, I know I'm defending it, but whatever. We're just going to continue with it. It's the same as, watching a movie with a twist. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Oh, that guy was the killer. I thought he was the friend, and he's the guy that's been orchestrating it the whole time. It's just two sides of the same coin. So what I can recommend is, shoot, give me a call. Come over. I'm going to be watching the Royal Rumble. Come on over. Let's watch it. I'll give you bought a whole cow and a pig. I'll throw some stuff on the grill, make you some good food, some good drinks. We'll hang out and watch the Royal Rumble. It'll be a great time. And maybe that'll be your gateway into liking professional wrestling. But I just submit to everyone, it's whatever you like. It's still weird to me that it's me liking professional wrestling is weird to some people. But you know what? I like it. My kids like it. It's something we can bond over. The live events are unbeatable. The loudest I've ever heard a group of people in my entire life. And I've been to a lot of Bronco games, 78, 80,000 people. The loudest group of people I've ever heard in my entire life was at a wrestling show. They had one of their 2 weekly shows here in September. It was SmackDown. Just happened to be the same week that CU and CSU were playing. And, of course, with Deion Sanders, that was a big national game. So there was lots and lots of stars at that game. Well, two of the people that happened to be stars that were at that game were Pat McAfee, which, side note, if you ever want to watch entertaining sports commentary, Pat McAfee show is unrivaled. He's hilarious, and their whole show is fantastic. He also used to do commentary on the SmackDown brand and had done a couple of matches here and there. And so the show starts and Pat McAfee comes out, which was phenomenal. That was a big crowd cheer. And then another person who happened to be at the game was The Rock. And everybody knows The Rock. Rock's probably the most popular, maybe outside of Stone Cold or Hulk Hogan. The Rock is one of the most popular people in the world, not just because of wrestling, but it's where he got his start. And The Rock was at the CU game, and everybody was like, it's only an hour. It's only an hour to downtown, but why would The Rock come back? That'd be weird. And so we were in there, and Pat McAfee had already come out. We thought that was the big surprise. And so he's out there doing a promo with this guy. His name's Austin Theory. And Austin Theory's a heel, which is another wrestling term for a bad guy. So he's, talking down to the crowd and running Pat McAfee down. And then all of a sudden, Pat is talking about the crowd, because Austin said, this is Austin Theory's show. Pat goes, well, this is actually the people's show. And do you know what that means? And then The Rock's music hit. That place, I don't know if you can see on camera, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about how loud that was. As soon as The Rock's music hit, that place went bananas. You couldn't hear yourself scream. And it's not even that full of a house because they have, a third of the stadium blocked off for the big, screens and stuff. So there's maybe, 12,000 people there, maybe. That place lost their minds because it was such a surprise. And it was so cool that I got to share that with my kids. That's something that we'll all never forget, and very rarely is that ever going to happen again, something like that. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff where it's fun. It's just fun. And I think a lot of people my age and older, we forget that fun things are okay. And fun is, if you've ever seen the old Dudley Moore Arthur movie from 1981, he goes, isn't fun the best thing to have? Yes, Dudley, it is. It's fun. And I'm going to keep doing it. If you want to check it out, let me know. I'll send you some cool stuff to watch. There's lots of different types of things that you could get into, some gateway stuff. I'll show you some stuff. It's a lot of fun. So, I think that's enough. I could ramble on. I really do like pro wrestling. I could ramble on about stuff that's upcoming and current storylines more and my favorite matches, but we're not going to do any of that. Not this time. Maybe another time. Maybe we'll do my 5 favorite matches. And if I can figure out how to cut in stuff, cut in video clips, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I actually maybe I won't because I don't want to get copyright striked. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. You can get a hold of me. Don't hold me. And well, maybe hold me. Yeah, please hold me. I need to be held sometimes. I'm a big guy, but I'm very sensitive. You can give me a call, 303-335-9705. That is a direct line right to my face. You can email me, rusty@rustystevenson.com. I'm on all the social medias. Well, most of them. All my social media is @TheRealtorRusty. You can find me on there. Shoot me a message. Shoot me a follow. And thank you. Thank you very much for hanging in here. This is, I think I said it on the last episode, this is so much fun for me. I don't know why I didn't start doing this before, but this is fun. And I'm going to get better at it as we go along. And I appreciate you hanging in with me while I'm learning on the job. So thank you very much. Have a phenomenally blessed day. And enjoy yourself. We were talking about having fun. Have some fun tomorrow. Go jump in a puddle. I don't know. Whatever you want to do for fun. Don't do drugs. I'm sure drugs are fun, but that doesn't sound like the right kind of fun. Go have some fun. All right, guys. Andy Barkowski bringing us in. He's going to take us out as per usual. Thank you much. This has been another fantastic episode of Concentrated Chaos. I'm Rusty, and we'll catch you guys next time.